A warm welcome to the session on practice of taking body measurements. At the end of the session, you will be able to take measurements of individual figure, compare the standard measurement with individual measure, take measurements in different ways from a garment.
Tools and equipments required. Measuring tape 150 cm. Dress form 1 number. Pencil or pen 2H 1 number. Record notebook 1 number. Take measurement of individual figure. Bust round. Measure the figure at the fullest point of the bust. Do not allow the tape to fall at the back. Waist. Take this measurement round the waist. Make sure it is comfortable. Hip. Measure the widest part of the hips, approximately 21 cm from the waistline. Back width. Measure the back width 15 cm down from the neck bone at the center back. Measure from armhole to armhole. Chest. Measure the chest 7 cm down from the neck point at the center front. Armhole to armhole. Shoulder. Measure from nape of the neck to the shoulder bone. Neck size. Measure the base of neck touching front collar bone. Dart. Take standard measurements from the size chart. Top arm. Measure the biceps. Make sure that the arm must be bent. Wrist. Take the wrist measurement around the wrist with slight ease. Ankle. Measure around the ankle just over the ankle bone. High ankle. Measure along the leg just above the ankle. Nape to waist. Measure from the neck bone at the center back string tied around the waist. Front shoulder to waist. Measure from center of the front shoulder and tape along the bust point to waist. Armhole depth. Take standard measurement and verify measurement with that. Skirt length. Measure the skirt length from waist and do the required hem length. Note. Measure from the waist to the floor at the back and front to check that the balance of the figure is even. Waist to hip. Measure from waist to the level of the below the hip. Waist to floor. Measure from waist to floor starting from center body. Body raise. The subject should sit on hard chair. Take the measurements at the sides from waist to the chest. Sleeve length. Place the hand on the hip so that the arm is bent. Measure from shoulder bone and bring the tape along the elbow to wrist bone above the little finger. Note, the list of individual measurements should be carefully checked against the list standard measurements and any great deviation accounted for. The blocks can be then drafted using students' individual measurements. Standard body measurements. The largest percentage of population falls into the medium-high range. Although the birth of women varies, the general trend is for weight to increase with height. This feature is reflected in the size charts. The size chart of women of medium height 160 cm to 170 cm is given below. Compare the standard measurement with individual measure. The knowledge of the anatomy of the body is essential for the construction of the garment. The 8-head theory is a helpful system which describes some ideal proportions of human figure. According to this theory, the body is divided into 8 equal parts. The size of the head height is the measure of all the other units. Unit 1. Hair to chin. Unit 2. Chin to nipple. Unit 3. Nipple to navel. Unit 4. Navel to public organ. Unit 5. Public organ to mid-thigh. Unit 6. Mid-thigh to below the knee. Unit 7. Below the knee to above the ankle. Unit 8. Above the ankle to toe. Alteration of garment as per requirement of the customer. Problem. Folds below the bust dart. Solution. Undo the dart and part of the side seam. Lift the shoulder a little. Repin a bigger dart and pin the side seam to take out the excess fabric. Problem. Low waist. Solution. Tie a band around the waist and remark the waistline. Remove and repin the skirt to new waistline. Problem. Baggy below the hip. Solution. Raise the skirt at back only and repin. Problem. Gapping armhole. Solution. Undo dart and pin a bigger dart, making sure that it points towards the bust point. One may need to lift shoulder seam at the armhole. Problem. Low neckline gaps. Solution. Lift at the front shoulder seam. Lower the dart point if necessary. Problem. Folds in the dress below the waist. Solution. Undo the side seam from below the armhole and ease out until the garment hangs smoothly. Problem. Tight neck or armhole. Solution. Slash and snip seam allowance to release tension. If it is not enough, mark a new seam line that is lower than before. Problem. Neckline stands away and folds below. Solution. Release shoulder seam and let it out at the armhole edge. Problem. Shoulder seam lies towards the front of the shoulder. Solution. Undo shoulder seam and release front seam allowances only. Problem. Folds across sleeve at the top. Solution. Mark a new fitting line below the existing one to reduce cap height. Problem. Sleeve hangs towards the back. Solution. Remove the sleeve and repin by moving the notch at the center of the sleeve towards the back so that the sleeve may hang towards the front. Problem. Trousers are loose at waist, hip or leg. Creases on the leg and trousers stands away at waist. Solution. Take excess fabric at side and pin at original seam lower down. For larger hip, increase the dart intake. Pin the excess towards the outer seam. Problem. Trousers tight below the waist. Crease around abdomen. Solution. Release darts and reduce their width and length. Also release some ease on the outer seams and repin. A tailor must check the following details when he checks the fittings of the garment. Shoulders. Seam should lie on the edge of the shoulder. The shoulder should be wide enough to ensure that sleeves hang comfortably into position. The shoulder slope of the garment should go in sync with the shoulder slope of the wearer. Chest or bust. The tip of the dart should end above an inch before the fullest part, often ankle the curve of the bust line. Incorrect positioning of the dart will make the garment too fitted around the bust area. Neckline. The front of the normal neckline should be always larger than the neckline at the back. Neckline should not be too large or too small. Collar. The circumference of the collar should be at least 1/4 of an inch bigger than the neckline. You should be able to Slip a finger in between your neck and the shirt at any point without struggling or forcing. The collar should neither be too tight nor too loose. Sleeves. The crosswise grain at the bicep should lie parallel to the floor. The sleeve should not be too fitted or too loose, as both can cause discomfort. The narrowest part of the garment should fall at the wearer's waist. Hips. Garment should have enough room around the hip area. Garment should not have excess ease in the hip or thigh, as it will result in vertical folds. Recap.
In this session, we have learnt how to take measurement of individual figure, how to compare the standard measurements with individual measure, how to take measurements in different ways from a garment. Hope you have understood all the concept in this session. See you in the next session with a new concept. Thank you.